And we are here for another Marketing Monday. So if you're like me, you might be a little sleepy after watching that Super Bowl. Who expected that? Tommy did, our producer, by the way. Totally called the Bucks to win. And man, you just can't count Tom Brady out. But anyhow, I digress. We're here for marketing. So today I want to welcome my very special guest. We have Meredith Kallaher. She is a digital ad strategy specialist. So we're going to be talking all about specifically social media ads and the different ways that you can use them for your business. So Meredith, welcome to the show. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, and we'll kick things off.
Well, thanks so much, Misty. Yes, I'm Meredith Kallaher, and I have a business, Meredith Kallaher Marketing, easy to remember. And right now I'm specializing in digital advertisements, primarily Facebook and Instagram, but anywhere you want to place a digital ad, Google, LinkedIn, Pinterest, I can help you out. I like to help businesses really expand their reach quickly and explode their sales.
So I love that. Expand your reach quickly and explode your sales. Yep. Who doesn't want that? Right? All right. So my hair's a mess. So let's start with the basics. All right. If someone wants to, I get asked this question all the time.
Okay. Tell me.
People are always asking me, okay, organic, I don't want to put money into ads. Why do I need to put money into ads? And I try to explain to people, Facebook, Instagram, et cetera. We're really in a pay to play environment. It's extremely difficult to get organic reach. To have your post go viral is also extremely difficult. So what do you say to those people when they're trying to figure out organic reach or paid reach?
Okay. Well, I love organic, by the way. So I'm not like a naysayer. And I think that if you are consistent on any platform, you don't have to pay to play. But nothing is free. So you either have to put in the time or the money, you guys. But what I really love organic social media for is building community and really turning followers into raving fans or customers. But that build of community, building your know, like, and trust, and I'm really an Instagram girl, but you can do this on any social media platform. It takes time, and you've got to show up consistently so people can trust you. Now, what ads do is the basic thing they can do is to explode your reach, unlike organic can. Meaning, especially with Facebook and Instagram ads, the targeting capabilities are amazing. So you can pay to really find people that you want in your community, get them in your community, and there's different ways to do that. A lot of different ways. Facebook allows us to basically optimize 16 different ways to build our community. And then often you use your organic social to kind of engage the people that you've brought in and turn them into customers. But if you don't want to do organic at all, you can use ads to build your client base, and then you use different things to gain that know, like, and trust. For instance, great customer service or a fabulous product. I'm working with a chef right now, and she has a meal delivery service. Hey, Chef Nicole, she's so good. Chef Nicole Miami. But we use ads to grow her customer base, and then her fantastic meals bring people back. You see what I mean? So she doesn't. They use a little bit of social, but she doesn't have to be that consistent. So I guess the question was, when do you use ads, though? That's sort of the difference of organic is great at building know, like, and trust, and social and paid ads is great for increasing your numbers quickly. But what paid advertising isn't great for is proof of concept, where organic is. Meaning it is expensive, you guys, to run ads. So organic is expensive cost of time. But if you are, say, a new coach and you're offering a new type of coaching that no one has ever offered to people that you know before, it's going to cost you a lot of money to prove if people want it or not. When I want a health coach to come in and use ads, for instance, if she's already reached out to the 20 people that are in her kids' kindergarten class, and if 5 of them were like, heck yeah, I want what you're selling, then you know that people really want your service, and that's when it's a good time to use ads. Ads are too expensive to prove out concepts, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I love that idea. So what we're talking about is if when to choose ads, when are they right for you? What's the difference between an organic campaign? And I do think, to your point, like we were talking about building that social proof.
Yeah.
And the organic campaigns are so awesome for that, because if someone sees your ad and they want more information, they go to look at you and you have nothing there, or it's stale and it hasn't been there for a long time, that actually might count against you in the eye of the consumer, right? If they're like, oh, let me do a research on this person or this product or this company or whatever, and they don't see anything there that you're very active and engaged, it's sort of like,
those are the people we want to be like, you know what? Go get some organic customers.
Right.
Like, go sell to your neighbors. Go start building on social and get that proof. Don't use ads to get the proof. It can just be super expensive to do.
Yeah, I love that. So thank you so much for bringing it up, because that's such an important distinction in knowing, okay, do I just go ahead and put everything into ads and that's it? I mean, we have a client we're working with as well right now that they're using we're using ads, but we're building up some of their organic as well for that very reason, right? So we're kind of like doing both.
And you can do it. Let's not be wrong. Like, you can take something new and advertise like the heck out of it, but it's just going to cost more, to like figure out what works and what doesn't work. But if you've done it organically, and when we say organic, it doesn't have to be social media organic. It could be literally door to door or through emails or whatever, but just proving it before, and then having testimonials or to back you up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's another form of that social proof, right? Of people just checking you out and saying, oh yeah, okay, they're legit because I've gone and looked at them on here, and they have testimonials, or they have people interacting with them, or talking about how great their products are, or even on those organic posts, leaving comments, hey, I love working with you, any of that kind of stuff, right? Like that can be really awesome. So, all right. So we talked about this a little bit. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to add to this about when is a good time for, like, in the lifetime of your business?
Right.
You started to touch on that a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything more we could add to that about using digital ads. So, like, is it, again, you talked about right out of the gate, or is it something you want to be more seasons with? And then once you are a seasons business, at what point do you adjust your ad strategy? I know I'm throwing a lot at you right now, but these are important questions.
I just think, like, because I love ads, so I don't want to discourage people, but I think there's different places when you're starting out your business to put your time and money, for sure. Like, your website, and look into SEO and see if it's important for your industry that you are searchable on Google. And then, and like building up your organic infrastructure. So I guess in the lifetime of your business, I don't think you go to digital ads first. But if you had a healthy budget, then there's things we could do at the beginning. But I think it's more of a, once you've found, what Facebook and Instagram are great for is, if you have 15 or 20 people that like your product, and you can find a commonality of those people, maybe it's zip code, but maybe it's men versus women, maybe it's age. What's cool about ads, I get excited, is we can then explode out. We can create lookalike audience that look just like people that are already using your product. We can multiply that 10 times, 20 times. That's what's cool. So I think the simple answer is, give it a minute. Don't use ads at the very beginning.
Right. Yeah. And I think a good example I'll give is I worked with a client, this is years ago, and they were launching this business. It was a super cute business. It was product based, and they wanted to put everything into social and into ads. And we handled that for them, but I kept telling them every month, I'm like, you need to get out. This is when, obviously, way before the pandemic. Get out there, get the product in people's hands. Let's get some photos. Let's get some testimonials. Set up tables at community events, whatever it is to like build that groundwork and do that grassroots. Again, that's a form of organic, but of getting people to know your product, because then they're going to spread the word, and then that helps grow your social media presence. I think, let's talk about that for a second, because it's like your social media presence, people think it's, everything happens only in the digital space, but that's actually not really true, is it?
Right. No. Yeah. In fact, I was just thinking about this. We just got a cute dog tag from my new dog, my 12-year-old ordered herself a matching one with the dog.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
It was cute. And, she's a 4-month-old puppy that puppy. But I was so impressed with this. I think Anna Kate, my daughter, found it on Etsy, and the Etsy shop maker, she had written a handwritten note. Thanks for which amazing customer service, and don't forget to in the note she wrote, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. Like put with the picture of your dog. Who doesn't want to put a picture of their dog on Instagram, first of all? And then she had a card in there that I could do the QR code scan and go straight to her Instagram and follow, and then post a picture. So this is an example of like we're helping her build her Instagram account, but it was happening outside of the social media platform. Sorry about that.
Yeah. But that's so smart.
Yeah, it was super smart. I went and called the chef and I said, we need to put one of these cards.
Yeah, we need to do
this.
Yes. So if you guys missed that, make sure you're getting your pen and paper and you're writing this kind of stuff down. If you're selling a product, you can totally be taking that extra step to write a handwritten note. People they just don't do that these days. We've talked on previous episodes about direct mail. And yeah, like that's awesome, but it's very expensive to be repetitive in a market with direct mail. But the impact that a handwritten note and a thank you note has is incredible because nobody does that anymore. And it's so personal. So I love that idea. So it was, again, this Etsy seller with the package, sent a handwritten thank you note, said, hey, by the way, you're going to send this on social media, tag us here, and gave them a QR code. Those codes, we're used to those now with menus at restaurants. You just scan it and it takes you right to the page, which is so smart.
It probably cost her what is that cheap site you can get business cards on? Because she printed it on a business. Right. It probably cost her, $20 for 100. And that was such a great addition to the.
Super smart.
Yeah, it was good.
Super smart. I love that. Yeah, you can get really creative with those things. All right, so when we're talking about digital ads, this is another question that I hear all the time. Is people are like, oh, okay, I want to put ads out there, but they don't really understand the difference between Google ads and Facebook ads and the like on social media. So can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah. So the way I like to think about it, well, first of all, Google ads are generally more expensive than Facebook ads, and they're easier to set up. I still do recommend working with someone like Misty or I, to set up your digital ads, mainly because you guys, before I took classes on how to manage digital advertisements, I did the same thing. It's really like taking cash to the toilet and flushing it down. Only because it's super complicated but Google's a little easier to set up. I will, if you wanted to try one by yourself, that one's a little easier.
Oh yeah, they have like a whole step program now. They walk you through like a.
Yeah, right. And it doesn't usually involve images, so there's less things to put up there. But Facebook, you can hit the wrong button and you spend money and get no results if you're not careful. So it's just, you have to be careful. But anyway, so Google ads are a little easier to set up. They're a little more expensive, but there's a good reason that they're more expensive. It's because Google leads you get on Google ads are hot, meaning somebody is searching in, Pinecrest family dentist, and you pay to pop up first in those search results. So you see your ad is fed to someone actively looking for you for your services. So it costs you more, which makes sense. But so Facebook and Instagram ads are put usually in front of cold traffic. You can put it in front of warmer, but the cool part about social media ads, first of all, they do cost a little less, but it's that you're looking for, remember we just talked about the demographics of your ideal customer. So the targeting capabilities, I want a woman that my age gets pretty much targeted the most out of anybody. That's like between 35 and 45 that's a mom, because we buy more things, mothers, because we're buying for more people often, and that lived in a certain zip code, that likes to shop at a certain place. You can identify people that I follow. Like I follow every marketing guru out there. You can target people that follow Amy Porterfield, for instance, is a marketing guru, or people that shop at Neiman Markets, which I also like to do. It's pretty cool. But but I'm not necessarily searching for a Miami dentist at the time the ad is fed to me. Does that make sense? So, but the trick with that is if you do have like a product that people are searching for, let's take the dog tag lady, like custom dog tag matching necklace. If there's a market for that out there, then you could buy a Google ad and And anytime someone typed that in, you could be fed first. But if you are like a newer product that you don't know there's a market for, gold dog tag with diamond match necklace, like
Right.
you might need to go. It might be cheaper to go to Facebook. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
Thank
Google's
you.
hot leads more expensive.
Right.
Facebook's
Because
less.
Google, in other words, people are, like you said, are actively searching for that product or service. Assuming you've optimized your ad correctly to the right keywords, it'll show up depending on how much you bid for the ad. You'll show up closer to the top of the page. So, but those are people that are looking for your product already or your service. And then on social media, what you're doing is really like a game that you're playing based on your current customers, which is why we were talking about the organic earlier.
Yeah.
Of okay, let's find that commonality and then let's create an ad set audience that'll target them. Or we can do retargeting ads, meaning if somebody's been to your website, now they're going to see your ads on Facebook. So
I was going to mention that part. There's a pretty good argument for doing Google ads and Facebook ads at the same time, because let's say we're at that Miami dentist and she's looking for teeth whitening. Miami, like Pinecrest dentist teeth whitening, and your ad is served to her because you paid the Google ad. And she goes to your website, checks it out, but she's not quite ready to buy. It's going to be $1,000. She's not quite ready to buy. Well, then if you have the Facebook tracking on your website, which is free when you pay for Facebook ads,
right.
basically, it will tag, like, if say Misty's the searcher, it will tag Misty. She's gone to your website. Then we can feed her a Facebook ad. Hey, Misty, this is why whitening is so great, because she's been tagged. That's that retargeting. That's super cool. And it, so it can basically reduce the cost of, or like just balance out the cost of the Google ad. Like maybe they didn't buy it first, but we're going to remind them on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they say that's important because, well, we've talked about this a million times on the show too, that rule of 7, the 7 touches, someone has to see or interact with your service an average of 7 times before they make a purchase. So that's really a good strategy to have there.
Yeah.
They work so well together to drive leads. All right. So I have a question for you. All right. So we're pretty good at Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest ads. But the one thing I haven't been able to sort of, I feel, master is LinkedIn ads. So what's your experience with that? Like what's the deal with LinkedIn ads?
So, right. So I didn't mention this part, but right before I started focusing on digital ads for every kind of locally owned business, I had written a course with a business partner here in Miami called Instagram Strategy for Busy Doctors. And we really studied what worked for private practice doctors we taught them how to run an organic Instagram strategy. But as part of that, I really studied marketing for doctors to understand what worked and didn't work for them. And we looked at, doing that, I looked at LinkedIn, and one of the practices here in town was offering a pretty expensive skincare protocol that you could come. It was like involve lasers and getting rid of sunspots. And we looked into, would LinkedIn ads be, she thought it was a high ticket item. So she thought maybe her ideal customer was a professional. Like LinkedIn is great when you are trying to find, I really like it for B2B. This wasn't a B2B service, meaning business to business sale, because there are, professionals are all on LinkedIn, meaning they go there for their business account, right? But anyway, what I found, to answer your question, was that LinkedIn ads are really great. They're expensive, first of all, more expensive than Facebook ads. And they take a good investment to get the logarithm to work right. They have the targeting like Facebook, but the targeting is what's cool about LinkedIn. I don't know if you how recent you filled out your profile, but when you fill out your LinkedIn profile, they ask you all these questions like, what's your background? Like, where did you go to college? What's your current job title? Where do you work now? What's the business address? So guess what? They're not just guessing what your demographics are. They have all those demographics to target. So
that you are willingly giving now.
That you're willing to. So you can, as a B2B salesperson, you can target like the marketing director of a company that's 500 people or less. So But to get all those great targeting, LinkedIn has you pay. So what a good rule of thumb I found was that it works well for if you're selling a service that's cost more than $5,000, and it doesn't have to be a one-time service. If you have, if you calculate the lifetime value of your customer, say, let's say a therapist. This is an expensive therapist, but let's say she's $500 an hour. I'm just doing this for math. But normally she sees someone 10 times, right? So that means the lifetime value of her patient is $5,000, 500 times 10. Now, she might be a good candidate to advertise to get people onto LinkedIn. And the one thing that is cool about LinkedIn, which I started to tell you about earlier, they have, they suggest when you use their advertising platform that they set up basically the whole funnel for you, where on Facebook, often we will suggest that you create a landing page. I know I'm starting to use, but we're talking about marketing here. Y'all probably know, like we might ask, let's set up a landing page for the ad.
Right.
And sometimes that's something you have to create alongside your ad to make the ad work, right? LinkedIn, it's all built in for you. So that's cool. Like there's basically like a lead form. It's called a lead form ad on LinkedIn that they'll say, hey, person trying to sell a $5,000 service. This is great and all, but we think you should give away a freebie in the middle, like a free piece of value. And they provide that structure. That makes sense?
Yeah. That's really cool. So again, differentiating here that something on like Facebook or some of these other platforms, when you send them, if your goal is to send them to a page where they fill out a form or purchase a product or whatever it is that you want them to do there, essentially on those networks, you have to have that created on your own, right? They have to be a landing page. There is a whole entire huge world of strategy, and I'm learning it actually now about landing pages and ad copy and all this kind of stuff. I'm building out my knowledge about lead funnels. It's like a crazy, crazy whole other world. But what Meredith is saying is nice on LinkedIn is you actually don't even have to take that extra step if you don't already have that information. LinkedIn will build that right into the ad model.
Right. It's cool. I think, I'm not sure just because I haven't used them as much, if it's on every ad, but it's called a lead form ad, where they do that for you.
That is super cool. So, all right. So we talked a little bit about budgets, and we've mentioned a few times here, some ads are more expensive to run and they take a little bit more to be successful. So let's use an example of a business that is out there and they have their social proof, they have that organic reach already, okay, and these different ways that we've talked about. What would your suggested ad budgets? Like just a ballpark, because I know it's actually very customized depending on the market you're trying to reach,
selling and what we're not.
Right.
I think that a good if you can plan for $750 ad spend a month, then you'll be in pretty good shape no matter what you are. We can do it for less. It's going to be tight though. But if you're selling an inexpensive product, then for sure we can get away for less. But like my chef meal delivery service, she's running at about a 12 times return on investment. So for every dollar she spends on Facebook, she gets $12 back. But she's spending about $750. So I can do the math in my head that fixed.
But she's getting the return.
She's getting 12 times $750 back.
Right.
So that's really cool. But it's weird, you guys. If she was spending $300, she probably wouldn't be getting that 12 times back. It has to do with the Facebook algorithm, and they need to be able to go find her ideal customers out there. They need enough juice to get her ideal customers. Her average customer, just to give you a ballpark, spends about $75 an order. So if your average customer was only having to spend $15 an order, we can maybe bring that ad spend down. But so it's all. So I think, I would just I would say, and some people have to spend more, up to like $1,000 or so.
Right.
Or less. Yeah.
Depending, and again, it depends on what you're doing. Sometimes it might not be an instant buy, like something from this chef, or they're purchasing a meal or a meal plan or whatever it might be. It might be, I work with some attorneys, and some of what we're doing on there is building awareness for when they do need that that service.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. And you still like targeted, I think, depending on the practice of the area, the law you're in. But the law field gets really funky because the Florida bar doesn't allow you, like, you can't go, like, let's say somebody has like a car accident and they're in the hospital. Like, you can't go to the hospital and target them. That's totally against, that's against the rules. So it gets a little bit different, I think, in terms of in that kind of way. But the same thing where if somebody was searching for somebody that has something like you and you had the Google ads running, then go to your website. Now they're seeing your stuff on Facebook. It's like you're like cemented top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another perk of running ads for sure.
Just to give you some more ideas on pricing, I said health coach earlier because I'm working with a newer health coach that's trying to build her audience to nurture. She knows that she needs to talk to her clients for a while before they book her one-on-one service. So we ran an ad campaign where she gave away a detailed PDF, like it was for starting the new year, and like 8 changes you could make in your life to feel better. She was,
cool.
And it cost her just over $1 an email address. So what was exciting was people gave her, so it cost her money, but they gave her their email address. She gave them that freebie. Everyone, it ended up, it cost her about $1, but now she has about 750 new email addresses that then she'll nurture for free, get them into her organic social, which is really good, and then make the sales there. So that's an example of of different industries,
right? And there's so much value to that too, right? Because we talk about, when you're really active on social media, people get crazy. They want all these followers, and if you're an influencer, I guess there's a way to make money from having a bunch of followers. But for the average business, the way you're going to make money is when people get into your funnel, which means you need to own those contacts, which means you need their email addresses, right? You need them. I mean, do you agree?
Totally agree. And the Facebook ads are a pretty cool way of getting them into getting their email address and getting them into your funnel. So so we've bypassed that organic. But again, if you don't have any clients, it could be an expensive way to, like, it's great to test out what people want and what people don't want. And once you know what they want, then boom, use ads to really grow your list fast. Then you own your email list.
Right. Yeah. And that's another funny thing. So, and I think this is still a good strategy. People are sort of lost on whether to boost posts or not anymore on Facebook. Personally, in my agency, we do still use that strategy, but we try to use it with posts that we know are already doing well, because then we know, like, this is something the audience organically, meaning they're already doing well. People are